stuff like that, you know.
I couldn't hear you.
Who is that?
Daft Punk.
Oh.
All right, we are back. And how the hair are you out there? This is Dr. Crystal Porter, and my in-studio guest is Deirdre Keller. So she is a licensed cosmetologist, and she is providing a lot of insights to give us information about what she recommends for hair, because that's one thing I don't do. I study hair, but I don't do hair. Well, I do my daughter's hair and I do my hair, which is a whole nother conversation, because so while this radio, the talk show is for people, I got to be real selfish and get some advice about my own hair, because, oh my God, I'm struggling. Not struggling because I have problems or breakage or anything like that. I just don't like how it is. And so I don't want to cut it, but at the same time, it's like blah, and it's driving me nuts, and I don't know what to do. And and I got to tell you too. So Deirdre and I were together yesterday, and my mom was helping me out. So my mom was around. So after an all-day session that I had in front of people, we get home, and then she says, "Why did you wear your hair like that? It really isn't very becoming." Now, mind you, this is like the end of the day. And I'm like, this is a fine time to be telling me that you didn't like how I did my hair. So I didn't say anything. I just was like, okay. And so, you know, she likes it. She said, well, why didn't you wear it down? Because I didn't wear it down. I just kind of had it in a clip, and I put on the band.
It was partially down.
Yeah, it was just kind of down in the back, but yeah,
in the middle.
Yes, way, and the hairband on just to keep it out my face because I didn't want to be bothered with it. So she had something to say about it, but it is not the way I wanted it either, and I just don't. I don't know what I want to do with it, and it's driving me nuts.
You could have done something else with it. I kind of wanted to say the same thing. And I kept looking, and I was like, oh my God, my girlfriend and this hair. Oh my God. Okay, but you're in the state now at the moment, it seems like it's blah. Okay, and what people don't understand is when we have relaxing for years, that hair grows. It grows and it gets dry and brittle on the ends. The ends tend to, not want to say die out, but get lifeless.
But they're not. But it's all about styling.
Good. It's all about styling.
It's about styling. My hair is not dry and brittle at all.
No, it doesn't look dry and brittle. But sometimes those ends don't tend to do what you want them to do.
That's not the problem either.
So the styling is the issue.
It's basically the styling. It is. So, I am not having a problem with my hair. If I curl it up, I mean, it does what I want to do. It's just that I'm not happy with
the style.
Yeah, it's not styled at all. At all. And it's my personal choice, because one thing that I'm going to share with you, you didn't know this, but it has been almost 4 months since I've had a relaxer.
I can see.
And I told you that I got about 1.5 inches to 2 inches.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good.
I knew you'd be happy.
I'm so happy. This has been a struggle for us for years, right?
I know.
Years. But it's just that the hair is so versatile. Extremely versatile when it's relaxer free.
Well, okay, so I want to give the listener some background, because you said this has been like a struggle for years, and that's because Deirdre has been trying to convince me for years to go back to being virgin, because I was virgin at one point, and just because of a lifestyle preference, I decided to get a relaxer, and I have no regrets at all, because at the time, with the level of just involvement I had, just being busy, I just couldn't do it.
You know what to do. You're not going to get a relaxer every 4 and 6 weeks, so you're going to get it when it's necessary. You're going to go months.
Yeah.
And you're going to texturize. You're not going to straighten it beyond the point of return. So
Correct.
that is why you're okay with it, and you're okay with dealing with it, because when you shampoo your hair, it's not bone straight and to the point of no return.
Right.
It doesn't just snap on you.
Right.
So, but what I was going to say was, like, for instance, yesterday with your hair, a lot of people, when I say water, they get afraid. They run, they jump like water. All you need is some rollers and a little water. And they're like, water? I said, well, the product is already there. The hair is already heavy enough. If you want some body, I tell them, like, I could have rolled your hair with 5 rollers and a little water, and
I
you
didn't
could
want
have had
that.
full.
I didn't want that.
But it depends on what a person. But the way you pinned it up, it probably would have looked better had it been a little fuller.
Now, that's probably correct.
This is what I'm saying.
That is correct. I do agree with that.
Because it was straight, you weren't really happy with it. But if it was fuller, yeah, I think you would have been a little more happy with it, especially with fullness here and in the back. Yeah.
So I have to say that this is an interesting conversation, because it's really putting me out there in the spotlight, because I have to let the listeners know that the forum that we were at was a hairstylist forum. So basically, I am standing in front of hairstylists. And my good friend was looking at my hair saying, yeah, I had the same thoughts as your mother, that it wasn't as
like,
good as what's going on. So in other words, other people were thinking the same thing. Because they don't know me, they're like, okay.
Because my hair is actually where your hair is right now. That's why it's in a ponytail. That's why I have a baseball cap on, because it's blah. It's not doing anything.
Yeah.
But I know, because I get to this point, I like the length that I have, because I like it when I wear it curly.
Mm-hmm.
But when I wear it straight, it's too long for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to cut it, but when I wear it curly, it's too short, because I have so much shrinkage,
Mm-hmm.
And that's my dilemma with the wearing it curly versus wearing it straight.
Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of times I just do a lot of curls and just wear it big until I just do my ponytail.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't decided what I want to do. I'm really feeling a haircut.
Yeah.
I'm really
layers.
I'm feeling a haircut. I just haven't decided what I want right now.
Yeah. Take a look at them, see what you're interested in.
So,
change is good.
Yeah, it is. I totally agree. So I want to remind the listeners that you can go on Twitter and tweet Main Insights, and I'll get your question. If you have a question, or if you have some concerns that you want to talk about, I can share with the other listeners. You can also go on Periscope, because we are live on Periscope right now. So that's also Main Insights. And you can go on Facebook. I do have my computer in front of me. We are in a very small studio, but I have somehow been able to prop it in a way that is a little dangerous, because it's not as stable as I want it to be, but we're all right. So you can Facebook, tweet, or join us on Periscope. And if you do want to join us on Periscope, you don't have to do it right now. The broadcast will be up for 24 hours, so you can still go to Main Insights and see what's going on in the studio. And you probably noticed that we had a little technical difficulty. I'm getting back in the mode of being on the air and working the board, so I'm happy to say that I think I've worked out the kinks and know what's going on, so we are good. So I have a lot.
So you had other questions, so
I got so much stuff that we could talk about, but at the same time, I like I said earlier in the last segment, there was some discussions that we had yesterday that I thought the listeners would find interesting.
Mm-hmm. Let me just reiterate a little bit on the last thing we talked about before we took our break, and I want to make sure people understand. I did mention one product line, but what I want people to understand is when they decide on what they want to use, you have to wait on results. You cannot get results on your hairstyling, the way that it feels, and immediately. You will not see the results in 30 minutes, in 2 hours, and the next day. Sometimes it might take 2 or 3 days. It depends on what you're using and what you're trying to do. So with that in mind, I just wanted to make sure people understand you just have to have a little patience when you're trying to do things. Results are not immediate, and I just wanted to make sure everybody understood that.
Yes. You raise a good question, because people don't have patience.
Yeah.
Especially for their hair to grow.
Yeah.
Because I have to mention this, and if she's listening, she will not be happy, but there is someone that I work with, so it doesn't have to be, I mean, I work with a lot of people, but there is someone that I work with, and it seemed like every week she would come in with her hair just done in a different way, and not just styled in a different way. It'd be completely a different color. It would be different, well, and styles, but I mean just everything. It seemed like every 1 or 2 weeks, new look. And while her hair is a looser curl, and it actually can take more than hair that is, I guess, a type 4.
Type, yeah.
If you're into the hair typing numbers, and
that's another whole thing.
Yeah, that's
another whole. Yeah.
But I would say she's probably a 2 or 3. Yeah.
In between 2 and 3, probably.
Like in that
struggling
realm.
right in that realm.
In that realm.
I totally understand.
And so she has, for her whole life, been able to just do a lot, but now she was pushing the envelope, and I could tell she was pushing the envelope. And I kept asking her, I said, do you think you want to continue to do that? I was like, over time, your hair is not going to be able to withstand all that.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh no, I just want something different. And so finally it happened, and her hair started breaking off. And so she decided to cut it all off and started wearing weaves and trying to get her hair to grow back. And it's growing back nicely.
Good.
And it's so cute. It is. She has the cutest hair. But of course she wants it to grow back faster because she's used to having hair down her back. And it's not down her back anymore because she pushed the envelope. So I say all that in terms of the patience that you were referring to. People just don't have patience. And I told her, I was like, your hair has grown a lot since you damaged it.
They want to come into the salon and ask me to do a correction. It being color correction, relaxer correction, or whatever type of correction it is. And I'll do the correction, tell them what I need done, and I'll promise them, like, in 8 weeks, if you do this, I promise you, I'm seeing the hair go through. I need you to just have patience and leave it alone. I'm talking 8 weeks. 8 weeks go by in no time, and you have to understand. Then they want to come in and say, okay, I want some color today. I got some hair. I said, you got a little bit of hair, and now you want color? I'm like, really? Can we just give it a break? You know, it's just, they have no patience. I mean, you want to cover your gray, but I want highlights, and I want this too. You've been covering your gray for 10 years. Now all of a sudden you want highlights, but this is why you have such uneven colors out there, because these people try to lighten hair that will not lighten toward the ends. Of course, the new hair is going to lighten. Midstream, the hair is going to lighten. But at the end of the shaft, it's going to fight and be really dark. That's why they started making these wigs like this, because all of those were mistakes. People don't understand that they were all mistakes in the beginning.
That's funny. And you know, from a scientific perspective, we always thought the opposite, that because the hair is more damaged and the cuticle may not even exist in some instances at the very tips of the hair, that it would be easier for chemicals to actually penetrate because those ends are actually more damaged, and or if the cuticles are more open, and
to think
and
like
so
that.
It's really interesting to hear you say this.
The ends fight.
Especially highlighting.
Yes.
Wow.
You notice that people, the roots, the midstream will be the roots will be very, you'll see people glowing at the root. And then midstream you'll have a medium tone. And at the end it'll be dark, because those ends just will not lighten. But what I've learned is you have to put it on the end first and then work your way up. You have to do a timer, and you have to do all of that. Not only that, I've learned to do soap caps on the ends to try to oxidize it, to open it up, to lift it a little bit. Yeah,
that's really
and that has helped. That has really helped, and it's helped without damaging the hair.
Okay.
You know, damage it to the point of no return. You're already distorted, period. So.
Well, you know, I'm so used to when the hair oxidizes in the sun, and I'm sure people have seen this. Sometimes in the summer, your hair can lighten up because of the effects of the sun, and so it actually lightens on the ends more than it does the root.
And your hair, if you have chemical, it would lighten even more.
Oh yes, it will. That's correct.
With the sun.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's correct. Okay. Yeah, so I'm hearing this and I'm like, wow, that just seems so counterintuitive, but there is laboratory and then there's real life, so good to hear that. But you know, you were talking about gray hair, and I still haven't gotten to the question that I was going to ask you, but it'll be a good tease into the next segment, because what I want you to discuss is some of the problems that the hairstylists have with getting business. But we'll talk about that next segment.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But while you're talking about color and you're talking about covering grays, you see my little gray hair in front?
A little bit.
Wait.
I can count them. You don't even have a lot of gray. You just
No.
count them.
I have to tell, I have to be totally transparent. So I had been plucking grays forever.
Really?
Yes.
No.
Yes. Forever. Like 10 plus years. But I mean, it's because it was just a few here and there. You're like, oh, I don't want to see that. And, I just pluck it. And so they say, oh, when you pluck it, you kill the follicle, the hair is not going to grow or whatever. And that hasn't been proven.
I didn't say necessarily true.
That has not been proven.
Okay, I understand.
And it definitely didn't hold true for me. Because trust me, I would not have any hair if that was really the
I can't believe you're telling me that.
I don't believe you're just not knowing. Wait, because I didn't hide it.
I never paid attention to.
I never tried to hide it. I just plucked it. Yeah. So people would say, "You don't have any gray hair," and I was like, "Oh no, I have gray. I can relate to you." I said, "You just don't see it because I pluck it." But so I say all that to say you see it because I have finally decided to stop plucking because I have gotten to the point where there's enough gray where I would have some thinning if I continued to do it because it just wouldn't be any hair. Especially, I would have like one of those streaks, like the Gremlins.
Yeah,
and Stripe.
Right here in
wait,
the center.
Stripe.
Right.
Stripe has that little
streak. But you can always do a little semi to give it a little color.
Oh,
and
I have no problem. I
highlights.
have no problem
Yeah.
since I'm quote unquote growing my hair out as long as I can tolerate it. Because like I said, I'm not. It's okay for me to be upset with my hair, but I don't want it. And it's just a styling thing. So, but when it comes to actually breaking off and stuff like that, then we have problems. I just don't like how it looks right now, so I have to figure out what I want to do. But I just wanted to share that information that I have stopped plucking my grays. So
let's get to our question you had here.
Well, we're gonna do that in the next segment. We're gonna do that in the next segment.
So it's over.
Yeah,
Wow.
so I want people to stay tuned. We're gonna play some music, but we'll be back in about 10 minutes. So see you on the other side.
I need to get Mickey's gum.
I'm gonna turn off Periscope real quick during the break.